Hello, I'm Gregory Hoag, Sacred Geometer, and today I'm with my friend Daniel Gutierrez, who is an incredible shaman and teacher and just a wise person that came to this from actually the business world, Fortune 500 companies. So you understand the whole gamut of what human beings can go through on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's very interesting today, Gregory, because I think that in order for us to be able to understand any teacher, for that matter, we need to see that person have evolved, how a person evolves into their message, who they are and what they are. And I clearly had my opportunity. You probably have heard of the little company called Best Buy Electronics. I've helped build that company. It was a company that only had 50 stores when I first started. So I had a lot of corporate experience when I left. And I still kept working within the corporate structure for quite a long time before I really began to walk down this path of spirituality, this idea that we are born in the image of greatness, and therefore we should see that, believe that, embody that, and know that just like the rays of the sun are not separate from the sun, nor am I from source. And today, that's really what my message is all about. And on the other side of the fence, for those of you that are spiritually minded and have been part of that movement, there's the other side of the fence where I like to let people know that we can't be so heavenly bound that we're no earthly good. And so we got to meet in the middle somewhere, and kind of the reason why you and I kind of got tied together was because I was really interested in sacred geometry, and I love to wear necklaces. And so I was always looking for something, and I was on a search for Metatron's cube, and I wanted to wear it, and I wanted it three-dimensional, and nowhere where I went on the internet could I find it. It was always a two-dimensional necklace. So sure enough, I ended up meeting Gregory, and we began a relationship of a friendship and also a business relationship about how could we both bring to you a little bit of both of us, so that you would have better tools to do, to become, to experience all that you can experience in this world, because we are here to live in peace and tranquility. We are here to experience the earth as it is and as we see it. We need to become the world that our children believe in. We need to become the world that we dream about. And in order to do that, some of the tools that Gregory has helps us get there. And some of the things that we have to get over in our minds is this idea that the reality that I see in front of me is the truth. And it really is just an illusion. And you and I have talked about
everything is relative. And all we get as human beings are guideposts, that say this way toward your next step, toward your greater truth. Because truth is so big and we are so small in this reality that it's always a progression that we go through in our lives to open to more, to a bigger part of ourselves. And it is possible to come to a space within ourselves that is so large that it puts this whole world in such a perspective that no longer does anything cause you pain. No longer does anything throw you off course. No longer does anything in this reality take any precedence over what you know to be true inside your being.
And that comes down to something that Greg and I have been discussing over the last couple of days. And that is something that I think every great teacher that walked this earth probably did well, but especially Jesus and Buddha. And that is the law of expansion, and that's the law of expansion of the heart. The expansion of the heart. And that's what he means by if it's written down, because anything that comes from the heart is intangible and yet tangible all at the same time. And so today I relish in the idea of finding tools like the tools that Gregory has, and helping the expansion of the heart, the energy of the heart. It is the heart that brings us joy. It is the heart that brings us love and compassion and understanding. And these are the fruits of the Spirit. I call them the fruits of the Spirit. And this is what we're moving back into. And so I first got connected with Gregory with the iConnect. He has a product called the iConnect. And I would carry this iConnect everywhere. I have one in my medicine bag. I carry a medicine bag. And I travel twice a year to Peru to work with the shamans in the Andes. And I take people up to for spiritual journeys. And one day I had the iConnect, and I took it out of the bag. People are always asking what's in the bag. You know, I feel like Felix the cat. You know, and so I opened it up and I put the iConnect in my hand. And one of my shaman friends came up and she said, "What's that?" You know, because it looks like a little flying saucer. So I said, "Oh, it's the iConnect." And she put it in her hand, and I said nothing outside that. You know, it was sacred geometry. It was done by a dear friend of mine. And she said, "Wow, that's the real deal. I can feel that energy." And this was not solicited information. It was just something that came up. And so I've always been attracted to what Gregory does, and I've always been attracted to sacred geometry. Today I'm wearing the this is a new one, so it's the
Heart Companion.
The Heart Companion.
Right.
And I think that along with the cognitive, psychological understanding of our humanness, there's one thing that we have to understand in this world, is that we can dream about other lands, we can dream about other lives, we can dream about where our soul may or may not go, but until we get to that day, we're still human beings, we're still on this earth, and we still got to come from the construct that we're human, and we're susceptible to emotions, fear, doubt, and disbelief, and all kinds of things. And these tools, for me, have been instrumental in helping clear the channel. And I'm going to let Gregory kind of tell you a little bit more about what it does, but it's been instrumental for me to clear the channel of connection, a deeper connection, a more clear connection, because only to the extent that we're clear will we ever see the truth in our life. The clarity that we create in our lives is what gets us the results that we're looking for.
We call this the Heart Companion because really all the things that are going on in our world right now, I think the only thing that is going to bring all of us through this is listening to our heart.
Yes.
Having the heart be what speaks. And that doesn't mean that you don't use the brain, because the brain is an incredible computing tool. It knows how to store facts. It knows how to work things. But you have to understand who is directing this. It's not something that's sitting here inside. I mean, this is what in the past science has believed, you know, this whole reality is created from inside here. But when you see how much bigger we are, how much more powerful as beings, that we exist on multi-dimensional layers because we are multi-dimensional beings. That means we're moving in the realms of the mental and moving in the realms of the emotional and the spiritual. And in those realms, when we start incorporating that into our reality, that's where the intuition comes from. That's where the ability to create on levels where we are really, really powerful. Mm-hmm. And this is a tool that opens up that channel so that energy comes through. You see, it comes through the heart, the core of our being, the heart of hearts. It's not this thing that pumps blood inside of ourselves, but it's really the core of our consciousness. Right. As someone said today, that's why the Egyptians, they scraped out the brain and threw it away, because they realized there was something more going on.
And this is why I love the Heart Companion. At the very core of that understanding, this beautiful sharing that he gave you, and the things I said before, is presence. Is our ability to stay present in the present moment and experience that in the moment. Not yesterday, not thinking about picking up the kids, not the traffic you're in, right here, right now. And staying present and learning to do that, clearing the channels up so that you can be connected to whatever you call source in such an authentic way that it makes huge, huge differences in your life. And from that place, my friends, you can tie into this beautiful connection, this beautiful understanding, this beautiful awareness. It's an awareness that we get into. This whole world's about awareness. And in awareness, we have choice. We have the choice to decide to stay connected, to tie to that emotional addiction, or we have a choice to decide to do what's best for us and everyone else involved. So I really appreciate this time that we have here. And I look forward to doing a lot of great things with Gregory in the coming days.
Yeah.